Hello, my name is Essid. I'm the Director of the Office of Emergency Communications within the Department of Homeland Security. Today we're here to talk about the National Emergency Communications Plan update that's currently taking place. The National Emergency Communications Plan was the first version. It was delivered to Congress in July 2008, and the name itself says it all. It's a national plan. It's not a federal top-down plan. It's not a DHS plan. It's a true national plan that's built up with partnerships with the local, state, tribal, public safety community, industry, federal agencies, everyone working together to create a true national plan. I'm joined here today with Fire Chief Charles Werner from the Charlottesville Fire Department and Deputy Chief Reyes from the Alexandria Police Department. Thank you all for being here today. The first question I have for you all is, what will the emergency response community have to do to accommodate newer technologies and evolving technologies that are being developed today in this next version of the national plan?
Well, let me try to frame it first to say where we are today so we can understand where we go next. We have to maintain our land mobile radio systems. That today is our mission critical system that has reliability, redundancy, capacity, coverage, hardened sites, all those things that really make us be able to work under the worst environments. And then as we make sure we do that, we have to be on a parallel path or a dual path strategy of developing our future map of where we want to go. And that gets into the broadband and how that works, and I'll let Eddie speak to that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Chief. I mean, our land mobile radio is what first responders just rely and have so much confidence in. Quite candidly, on the police officer side, most officers who use the radio many times during the day will tell you that they will almost go out on the street without their gun before they will without the radio. And so that's just the level of importance that communications and land mobile radio plays, especially in the police discipline. But as we move ahead and we plan ahead, you know, broadband is here. It's knocking on our door, and it's a technology that's going to move us into the next century. But we have to move in a phased approach.
When we look at some of these advanced technologies like wireless broadband, what are the opportunities and what needs to happen for public safety to increase partnerships with industry to make sure they're developing the right devices, they know your user requirements and things of that nature?
We need to have discussions between the emergency response community and industry so that they really understand our operational needs, and that we at the same time understand the new technologies that are coming forward so that we can learn how to take advantage of those technologies. I think it goes back to re-emphasizing the importance of the National Emergency Communications Plan as a means of bringing this all together into a common vision that's a national vision that moves us all in the same direction with the same understandings.
Yeah, and along those lines, I think we really have to leverage lessons learned when we talk about that. You know, over 25 years ago, you know, the P25 standard for land mobile radios was established, but that was very much an industry-led and driven standard. Industry was building and designing what they thought public safety needed with very little public safety input. Let's not make the P25 mistake of over 20 years ago as we transition into the broadband arena.
Could you all elaborate a little bit more on the methodology on actually accomplishing a better partnership between public safety and industry?
Well, I think the first thing is to continue the path and the model that DHS and Office of Emergency Communications have established of working with the stakeholders and making sure there's an involvement and a discussion as to what we need to do and how we need to get there.
And just to take another step, I think the governance and the partnership that national associations have established with industry, for example, the National Public Safety Telecommunications Council, NIPSTIC, I think does a very outstanding job in bringing industry to the table, networking with public safety officials so that, first of all, they hear our needs, they hear our concerns, they hear what's working and what's not working, but at the same time, try to network with us.
Well, following on to that last question, what do you all think is the importance of planning ahead and integrating some of these newer technologies and innovations into your daily operations?
Speaking for our municipality personally, Chris, I'll tell you, it's a fine balance of having that long-range vision because, let's face it, the cost involved for some of these technologies is astronomical, and it takes a lot of funding to purchase some of these systems. So it requires that long-range planning of knowing in this fiscal year down the road is when we're going to need to have the money to purchase this equipment.
One of the things we need to do in this planning process is begin with the end in mind. Is we have to create the vision, but then incorporate that vision into the National Emergency Communications Plan. as a wrap up to that, going back to that dual path strategy, is we really have to understand land mobile radio, where it is and where it will have to be for now, and to at the same time simultaneously begin developing understanding and working with industry as to where we're going with broadband, and really plan for that, all encompassed in the National Emergency Communications Plan.
Well, I think this is an excellent discussion, and again, we're talking about the National Emergency Communications Plan. We're updating it this year, and Chief Werner, Chief Reyes, I appreciate you being here today. Again, my name is Chris Essid. I'm the Director of the Office of Emergency Communications, and thank you for your time.